for the new season, and he's almost like the forgotten man with some of the more high-profile signings that we made since. But I thought he was excellent last night. Matt Haywood I quite liked as well. He seems to be continuing on the way he finished up last season. And a little mention as well for Alex Levitt, more for Saturday night. In fairness, he's still got the touches, hasn't he? He's still got the vision and the touches. That pass that he made in Belfast for, I think, was it our third goal? That was just sublime little backhand pass, and we're going to need that. He's a guy that's going to get the assists for us and rack up the points as he did last season. So, excuse me, I like what I saw in Levitt. No real major negatives at all. At the moment, I'm very encouraged.
When you're talking about Levitt, he was centred at the weekend, certainly Sunday night most of the time, between Rosehill and Haywood, if I'm right.
That's right, yep.
But you would imagine that when Jeff Ulmer comes back, he's going to take Haywood's spot. And that has the potential to be a very dangerous line indeed, doesn't it?
Can't begrudge Jeff Ulmer not playing this weekend. His baby was born and it's 2 friendlies, so it's
things are more important than the Intu Cup, aren't they?
Definitely. I mean, it's 2 friendlies. It's not anything that anybody was particularly bothered with. It's all about the fitness. The Intu Cup can wait another year and we'll win it next year, no doubt. But yeah, it's that's got to be some line, I think. It's the sort of thing we're missing last year. And even someone like Cowick, who was kind of quiet last night, I thought, just having a big body like that, and just to clear out the D-men and make space for the other 2 forwards, just to try and get in and about, and we'll see some scoring from all lines, I think, this season.
Yeah, it bodes well, and I think, in past seasons, going way back to when we started, Jennifer, seasons 1, 2, 3, even 4 even, you're kind of thinking Belfast, we would never really expect to get in from them. I think when the 2 teams meet in competition over the course of the season, it's going to be close games. We can expect to go to Belfast, we can expect Belfast to come in and expect to get something out of the game, rather than the way it used to be in those years when they were coming over and you think we're going to get a tanking. Yeah.
Well, the Belfast games are always very enjoyable to watch. I mean, they're a good team. One thing that impressed me about Belfast last night is how fast they seemed, especially one guy who had a really good game last night was Rutherford. He really, really impressed me, unfortunately. So I thought he was really good. But towards the 4th, as you could see, obviously we were running 4D and everybody was beginning to tire. They did bring out the Boyd, Haywood, Mackenzie line, which I thought was quite good. You could kind of see them just beginning to run riot, just to kind of give the other guys a wee bit of a break. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, and you've got to mention Rutherford's goal, the way he scooped it up like a lacrosse player. I'll get it out eventually. And I'd like to think, though, in a competitive game, he'd get put in his arse before he get a chance to put it in the net, though. I don't know. It was a cracking bit of skill, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good. I was also got to say I was quite impressed with Pavel Halas's first professional refereeing game for us. I think obviously we've seen him as a lino, and I thought he did quite well. Yeah,
the only thing, it's funny you should mention him because I was just about to come on to the only kind of sour part of the night. Well, there was 2 with Kyle Wharton going off. We don't know how bad his injury is going to be. He looks as if he took a puck to the hand or the wrist. We don't know how serious that injury is. And Jay Rosehill took a stoter to the face. Yeah. And that was something the referees called. I mean, he did throw a bit of a hissy fit. I think he tried to draw attention to the fact that he was bleeding and the play should have been stopped, and he missed that. At the end of the day, he's probably a bit peed off that he's got this injury. It's not sounding very good for what we're hearing in a friendly game, and he looked as if he looked to me he looked really lean and fit coming into the season. And for some guys coming over with that kind of reputation, you'd maybe think they might have slacked off a wee bit, but he looked as if he was ready to go. So having that on the back of a friendly match, an Intu Cup, important Intu Cup tie, it's got to piss him off a wee bit, and it's a bit worrying if we're going to start the season without him, Stephen, yeah?
Oh, definitely. He was arguably the marquee signing of this season, the big name. He was only couple of years removed from the NHL, and he's still only 30, 31, so he's still got quite a lot to offer. It's not as if like he's 40, just coming over here to play the golf. So it is disappointing. We think it's a jaw injury, which is never good. But if we look at last season, or maybe 2 seasons ago, Matt Haywood suffered a similar sort of injury. and he was back playing in a cage not that long after, maybe a month, 6 weeks after. So if we can get Becca and Baldwin in this season, maybe call upon Lee Esters already, not in anyone's plans, I don't think, but I mean, it's a big loss, but I think if we can get the personnel to cover it, we should be okay for the time being.
Anything else you want to talk about in terms of the games on the ice? No. Off the ice then. Off the ice. I think that the first thing that I certainly was drawn to my attention when the ties were announced was the prices of the tickets. I think you can only vindicate the club by the fact it was almost a sellout. Supply and demand and all that, if people are willing to pay it, then who's to say that they're getting it wrong? Probably not worth the money, but it's good to see the players coming out, and that's what the club are relying on. People want to see the players for the first time, yeah. Graham, I'm usually one that likes to have a pop. I take it you've got no issues with that in terms of the pricing.
Well, thanks very much. You're right, though. Supply and demand, it's a business, as we all know, and the club has turned the corner now. We are not guaranteed, but you can be fairly sure that the arena is going to be pretty close to a sellout, if not a sellout, for most games. And, provided the team do the business for us this season, then that will continue. The club has to keep working at it. And for me, a pre-season friendly is a chance to obviously allow new people to come in, and they might have heard about it over the summer from fans. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that waxes lyrical about the Clan and ice hockey in general during the summer months and trying to get other people interested. Usually on my holidays, I managed to get at least 2 new fans for the Belfast Giants. So, it's all that happening, and it's almost like a gesture towards the fans to say, look, let's get a new season started, and here's some cut price, entry to help get us off and running. Exactly.
Don't make me laugh.
No, seriously. But it's
listen. To me, it's the opposite, Graham. To me, they're actually. I agree with you, and I'm vindicating them, saying, charge it. People pay it, charge it. But there's going to come a point, and you can see a sort of small undercurrent on Twitter, where fans are just going to feel like a wallet, and not going to feel. When you go back to the early days, the club was built on fan interaction. The club was built on being a community club. It was built on social media. It was built on being accessible. These same people are starting to feel now as if they're just a wallet to be dipped.
Hence my
and
point.
I think that's why they've got to be careful.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying a gesture to the fans.
Yeah, they're not going to do that at this stage of the season.
Well, maybe not, but like I say, the undercurrent, as you've just mentioned, about all of this is that it's all about the money. It's all about the business. We know that that's all important, and of course it is. And I know that if I'm suggesting that a $5 off every ticket for the pre-season friendly is going to cost the club a hell of a lot of money, I know all that. But ticket pricing or whatever other pricing is involved for merchandise and what have you, I just think the club have to tread very, very, very carefully, because the backlash is that people decide not to spend the money, and that's what the club can't afford to do. You keep the marketing going, you keep everything else going, because the minute you stop that, you start going backwards. Clan in the community, they did next to nothing with that last year. Hopefully they're going to be doing something with that this year, because there's school kids out there that you want to be talking to about ice hockey and the Clan and everything else. You don't just stop doing the work now. And I'm just a little bit worried that complacency or anything else sets in, then that's ultimately in the longer term going to go against the club.
See, I agree with the club in terms of if you can charge the money for that game last night, do it. One of the things that I think they maybe could have given back on was those daft clacking things. And I don't know how many of them were sold. And I mean, allegedly they cost like 20 pence to make. Why not just give them, if you've got 500 of them, give the first 500 away as a way of giving something back to the fans? Because I don't know if Jennifer and Stephen, if you want to pipe in, I do think they're in danger of alienating some fans who feel that they just want to get them for money, and they're not giving the same amount of things they used to give back. There's not as much. The only thing they kind of give back directly now seems to be through the official supporters club. And if you're not a member of that, then you're not really getting the same things you used to get, for example. I mean, I don't know how you two feel.
I'd say season ticket holders as well, because we get 10% off the merch stand or something.
You could have got a clacker for $4.50.
I was meant to get... anyway, that's another story for another day. No, well, I'm not really the person to ask this.
You don't care?
No, it's not that I don't care. It's just all the merch is pish. So every year I'll get a jersey, and last year I got that tartan scarf because I quite like that. But I'll buy my 50-50 ticket and my shirt jersey ticket, and that's about it. But you're right, it was something like that that's so cheap to make. It's just, as a goodwill gesture, just hand it out. You know, it's no. I saw one person next to me with one, so at least one was sold.
Was one person next to me, it was a child.
So there we go. We can say two were definitely sold. So there's a tenner. But yeah, it's just you're right. Just give something back. Just like with something that costs so little to make, just hand them out and try and get an atmosphere going.
Get a bit of goodwill going back again, because I think we're in danger of crossing that line. I don't know. It's just me. In terms of other things that were going on last night, the chant. Who enjoyed the chant?
What chant?
The clan chant.
That chant. I thought something gold chant. Okay.
No. Well, nah.
I'm probably alone in saying I quite like the chant, but it didn't get going because it was promoted, but it's probably only promoted to a very, very, very small amount of fans. So hopefully, given a couple of weeks, that might catch on. Just kind of see how it goes.
Do you think? Seriously?
I liked it.
I'm not asking you if you liked it. I'm asking you, do you think it'll catch on?
I hope it does. Well, the thing was as well, when they introduced after us shouting the player's name after they scored, that took a wee while, but we eventually got it. So I don't see this being much different.
That's easy. Yeah. I don't think. See, it kind of reminded me of when Kirsty tried to get us to shout defence in a penalty kill. Apart from the fact it's a basketball thing, it's just naff. And I think when you try to orchestrate things, it doesn't work. And from what I'm led to believe, and I can stand to be corrected, and Rusty will probably listens to this and he'll tell me, the club approached Section N with it and basically asked them. I think you leave Section N to go on with it, and other people who want to throw them ideas. You know, I'm not saying leave everything to Section N. What I'm saying is they are the ones that can instigate these things, and that's why the club took it to them. But if it's contrived, if it's copycat, I know most of the chants are with changed words, but that was just something that happened over the summer, and I just don't think it worked, and I don't think it can work. I'd love to give it, well, I know they'll give it other goes, but it just fell on its arse on Sunday night. And where I sit in K, you couldn't really hear what was getting said to chant it back. So, I don't know. I'm not convinced it's going to work. It's not a big deal to me either, though. You know, if it works, it works. I just don't like these sort of contrived things. That's just my opinion.
I'm with you. It's just, it seems too manufactured. Like, this is what you're going to chant. And after the thing last season about the winds and their farts and their skates in the air and everything, when how crap that was and how reluctant to change it back to what everyone wanted, it's quite worrying, because I thought the wee orchestral bit of, no idea what it's called, I'm not that cultured, into Joker and the Thief, like, fine, that's good enough to build the atmosphere, and when you've got something that works, you shouldn't really change it, especially when you try to change it last season, it fell on its arse. So yeah, there's different things you can mess about with, but I think with the intro they had, everyone liked that, and everyone responded to it well, so it's not something that really should have been changed. Maybe trying it again during the game or something like that would be a bit better, but I don't know, it just seems a bit weird to me, the whole thing. Just going back to intro quickly, so what was that music they played for Belfast coming up?
Oh, no idea.
And a long history of crap music at Braehead, that does really take the biscuit. That and YMCA for us going in the penalty kill. Just I will say.
Do you know, at least if it's random, we won't know what's coming on. It'll be a surprise.
That's true. In saying that, though, I didn't hear AC/DC last night, so this guy, happy? Yeah, this guy can be kept forever for all I care. I will say, Jameson pointed out an Avicii song was played, and we were leaving for the interval, and 15 minutes later we came back in, and this same song was still playing. So I don't know if the guy has one CD like that episode of Father Ted where he keeps playing Ghost Town by the Specials or what. But
now he's 15 or something like that.
Aye. So, yeah,
Ghost Town of the Specials was number one the day I was born. Random fact for you.
It's a good song. No, but
I think the point about all of this, if I can butt in, is the fact that Johnny, who was the clan DJ from day one, it's important that everybody recognises what he actually brought to the game night experience. Now, we don't know why he's not back this season. It seems to be that's the way it is, and that's his own business. But I think a lot of people did recognise it when he was here. The spontaneity, the humour that came with a lot of the stuff that he put in.